Yeah, for sure. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for us at Canva. We launched about 8 years ago now, and in that time we've gone from 5 people when I started to over 1,600 people globally now. Offices all around the world. We've got more than 50 million people designing in the platform each month, and so there's been a lot of learnings along the way. One of the big things I think that has been super important for Canva, and I definitely think for me personally, is just the importance of having a culture of learning. As a company, we went from 5 people to 10 people, from 10 people to 20, to 100, to 500, now to 1,600. And each step along the way, we faced all sorts of different types of challenges. And so having the ability to learn and solve problems for that particular level of scale is really, really important. We do that internally by really leveraging things like advisors, making sure that we're bringing in expertise from different sorts of people, creating a culture where it's actually okay to not have the answers. You might be hired today to do a job, but in 6 months your team may have doubled from say 20 to 40 people, and that's a completely different challenge. And so we're all going to be kind of beginners and having to learn things from scratch as we go, and so that's been really, really important for us. Yeah, I guess with the growth that we've had at Canva, one of the most important things that we've needed to create with our culture is a culture of learning. And that's been the case for everyone all the way along. Whether, if you go back to when we were a team of 5, the sort of challenges that we had to solve then were very, very different to when we were 50 people or 100 people or 500 people. What we've really needed to do is to make sure that everyone's always learning. I might come into Canva, in a particular role today, leading maybe a team of 10 people, but in 6 months' time, that could be 20 people. And so I'm going to be a beginner again and have to figure out how to do things at a different level of scale from scratch. One of our values that we hold very dear at Canva is to set crazy big goals and make them happen. And that's been part of our culture since day dot. And I guess what that means is often that we're setting our aspirations so high that the most important thing is that in the long run, we keep working towards those goals. But we've actually created a culture where it's okay if those goals take longer to achieve. And so, in the early days, the very first goal, we had to completely reimagine the design ecosystem and bring it into a page. And we set the goal, I think, originally to launch that in about 3 months. It ended up taking 18 months. But the result was the platform that we launched. And so it was still the right goal to pursue. Well, firstly, I think where all marketers are talking to people, and so the same things hold true. And I guess what we've seen over the last few years is just an explosion in the amount of visual content being produced, and really the most critical skill we see for everyone now is to be able to communicate visually. Whether you're a B2B marketer or a salesperson or a social media marketer, actually being able to communicate your message visually is more important than ever before. Yeah, there's probably 3 things I think that are really important here. One's creating a culture where it's okay to learn. I've had an interesting experience from PR and comms, moving through to products, running our people org, and now scaling marketing. And so one of the things that I think has been really helpful for me is actually being a beginner in a lot of contexts. And I think it's really important, particularly in a high growth company, to create a culture where it's okay not to have the answers, but actually the skill that's most valued is the ability to go and get them and learn. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think, is really knowing where to look, and something that we've done really, really well at Canva is leverage advisors as we've grown. And so we've had some amazing advisors from companies like Zoom and Home Depot and other kind of tech brands as well. And that's been really great to solve particular problems as we go. Number 3, I think there's actually so much great content out there, whether it's podcasts or blogs, books. There is just a wealth of content. And I think for marketers in particular, one of the most important things is to actually read and consume, a wide variety of content, both to stay up with marketing, but also what's happening, in other spaces too.